This is T207 computer system. The diagram below shows the state transition of tasks in a multitasking computer system. When does a task in the running state move to the ready state? So here are our four options for when the task moves from these two states. When a task is generated is our answer A. When a process based on an input-output request is completed. When an input-output request is issued. And D, when a task with a higher priority is set to the ready state. In control for multitasking, a task within a system is managed based on three states. The three states are shown below. Firstly, the running state, when the task in the system is being performed. The ready state, when the task can be executed at any time, but execution is awaited because the CPU is busy. Finally, the waiting state, when I/O processing is being performed and completion is awaited. The general flow of task execution with task management can be summarized with a state transition diagram as shown below. So here we have arrows labeling the transitions that can be made between each of these states. Here we want to analyze a certain transfer that can be made. So let's first of all look at what each of these transitions is describing. Here let's look at the first three transitions. In transition 1, tasks are generated from executable jobs. Resources then other than the CPU are allocated the task, and when the CPU is scheduled, the task enters the ready state. So in transition 2, when the CPU is allocated to the task changes to the running state. So when the CPU is needed, we allocate our task into the running state. And in transition 3, when a task with higher priority than the currently running task is set to the ready state, the task running in the running state is temporarily halted and returned to the ready state. Here we're describing transition 4. If the task in the running state requests a resource, for example, execution of an I/O instruction, the task is halted and enters a waiting state until the requested resource is available. Here, in transition 5, as soon as the requested resource for the task in the waiting state is available, the task changes to the ready state. And finally, in transition 6, we're looking at when the CPU processing of a task is completed and we have termination of the task. So, as shown in step 3, a task in the running state moves to the ready state when the task with a higher priority than the currently running task is set to the ready state. So D is our correct answer. The other options that we had as answers are described below. A. When a task is generated, it is set to the ready state. When the processing of an I/O request ends, transition takes place from the waiting state to the ready state. And finally, in C, when an I/O request is issued, transition takes place from the running state to the waiting state in order to await the completion of the I/O request. So here our answer is D, and what we've looked at is the transitions that can be taken between different states and what causes these transitions.